The Virgin Islands appear as emerald jewels sprinkled on azure satin. Hundreds of rocks and cays dotted among the Caribbean Sea and the tropical Atlantic. Some 1,500 miles southeast of New York and 1,100 miles east of Miami, the three largest U.S. Virgin Islands are St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas.
The following is a Channel 10 weather bulletin. From our studios at WBNB-TV is Patrick McMurtry.
Good afternoon. I'm Patrick McMurtry with this News Center 10 weather update. Again, Hugo is a Class 4 hurricane, and if the storm scores a direct hit, we can expect extreme damage, including uprooting of some trees, removal of some roofs, and destruction of wooden structures. Reports say that the hurricane has already left some 3,000 people homeless on Guadalupe, so that gives us an indication as to the strength of the hurricane. If you've not boarded or taped your windows, you should do so now, and be sure to secure loose objects in and around the house. Stay tuned to Channel 10 throughout the days. We'll have hurricane updates. I'm Patrick McMurtry. Have a good afternoon.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, a popular scenic tourist attraction in the Caribbean, suffered the ravages of Hurricane Hugo on the 17th and 18th of September 1989. Hurricane Hugo has been recorded as the worst hurricane to pass through the region in living memory. Local authorities, aided by the media, warned residents of the imminent danger.
The effects of Hurricane Hugo are already being felt in the territory, and any last-minute preparations should be made now. Remember, Hugo is a very powerful storm with winds up to 140 miles an hour. Windows should be taped or boarded. Loose objects should be secured. Non-perishable food, drinking water, batteries, and flashlights should be on hand. Most of the major grocery stores and supply shops will be open as long as possible. Sandbags can be obtained on St. Thomas at the Public Works Carpentry Shop. On St. Croix, sandbags are at 4 locations: the Public Works Department in Christiansted and Frederiksted, the Cotton Valley Fire Station, and the Lower Love Agricultural Station. Now, you should prepare for the possibility of being without water and electricity for several days. WAPA officials say they will supply power as long as possible, but if lines begin falling down, it will no longer be safe to generate, and the territory will be without power and water. If you live in a low-lying, flood-prone area, evacuations should begin now. Several shelters are open, and those locations will be on Channel 10 throughout the day. The hospital has received emergency fuel for its generator, so they are prepared for the possible emergencies. Both airports are closed. If power goes out, keep battery-operated radios tuned to the emergency broadcast stations. Vitelco officials say they do not expect a system outage. If the system is overloaded, however, you may experience some dial tone delays. Again, now is the time to prepare for the worst as Hurricane Hugo continues to move towards the territory. For News Center 10, I'm Yvonne Wright.
At sunset on that Sunday evening, the seas rose ahead of the approaching hurricane. As darkness came, the winds increased dramatically, and a short time later, all power was disconnected as people took shelter wherever they could. The hurricane had been moving at a steady speed of 25 knots as it moved across the Caribbean. As it approached the Virgin Islands, its speed slowed to just under 7 knots. As Hugo tracked directly over the Virgin Islands, winds increased to 160 knots, gusting to over 200 knots. Hugo's strength reached maximum force at 6 a.m. on the morning of Monday, 18th of September, 1989. At this time, the hurricane was directly centered over the U.S. Virgin Island of St. Croix. By late morning, Hugo had begun to move away northwest towards the American mainland as the Virgin Islanders began to take stock of the damage left behind in its wake. As Hurricane Hugo had approached the Caribbean, a senior director of the Graham Miller International Group had left London to take up station in Puerto Rico. In the south, our Barbados office had carefully monitored the approach of the hurricane. Over a period of days, Hurricane Hugo smashed its way across the islands of the Caribbean, destroying communication networks as it traveled. News of the destruction reached head office of Graham Miller International Group, and the Graham Miller catastrophe team, who had been on standby, were immediately dispatched to the various islands. Within a very short period, the catastrophe team, comprising of directors and adjusters from throughout the worldwide group, started the task of surveying and reporting upon the catastrophic damage.